Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special Valentine's Day episode. I am so excited to kick off this Valentine's Day with the absolute love of my life, Sophia. I look forward to her getting back from shooting a movie in South Africa. She's been gone for 6 weeks, and it's been terrible for me. I miss her so much. So she gets home in the next, week, right before Valentine's Day. So I'm looking forward to a slow, chill, present, glamorous, gorgeous couch, like very chic wine night in. I rather cook and have a beautiful dinner. My woman loves steak, so my plan is to cook a very nice steak, have very nice red wine, and just watch a really cheesy rom-com and laugh and be present and be, connected because we've been away from each other for almost a month and a half. Now I'm trying to think of what my favorite rom-com is. Oh my gosh, Pretty Woman. I love Pretty Woman. Let me tell you, I love Pretty Woman. Julia Roberts is queen. Hello? I worship Julia Roberts. Hello, I'm dating a hot redhead. Let's go. We're watching Pretty Woman. Done. Okay, but also, oh my gosh, now they're all floating to the forefront. Dirty Dancing, it's not a rom-com, but I'm obsessed with Dirty Dancing. It is so good. Movie night with steak, good wine, probably some vegetables because homegirl likes to eat clean. Very good chic red wine. My partner is very bougie when it comes to her very nice wine. So I'm gonna give my lady what she wants. And then we're gonna hit Pretty Woman and Dirty Dancing because why wouldn't we? It's gonna be a love fest. All right, y'all. We're gonna dive right into our very special Valentine's Day episode with Tig and her wife, Stephanie. Let's get into it. Some couples make you laugh, and some couples make you feel safe. And some couples somehow do both at the same time. Today's guests are exactly that. Tig Notaro and Stephanie Allynne are two of the most honest, hilarious, and brave people I've had the chance to sit down with. Tig is a trailblazer in comedy and storytelling, someone who has taken some of life's deepest pains and somehow turned it into connection and to light. And Stephanie is a brilliant actor, writer, and director whose heart and creativity are felt in everything she touches. Together, they've built not just a marriage, but a family, raising twins, making art, and showing the world what love can look like when it's rooted in truth and humor. We're talking about parenting, partnership, grief, laughter, and Tig's powerful new documentary about her late friend, Andrea Gibson. I'll see you in the good light. And of course, we're talking about the wildly successful podcast Handsome, which feels like home for so many people who just want to feel seen in the queer community. This conversation is funny, it's tender, and it's full of heart, and I'm so excited for you to hear it. Welcome to Wide Open. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Wide Open. I'm your host, Ashlyn Harris, and today we have two very special guests, Tig and Stephanie. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having
us.
Yes, and very early LA time. So I even appreciate that more. But I do know your parents. So the days of sleeping in are well past us. I had the poke this morning at 6:30, like, Mama, can I come into bed with you? And I was like, no, you can't. You can't.
But
we can get up.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Like
sometimes
you're tight with the Pope. Wow. That's
No, I am not. So I did do a little deep dive. I did see recently you both won a family visibility award.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty special. I think it's really incredible how it's been so incredible to watch your journey and see how open you both have been about raising your two sons, and you've been together for a very long time, and you're an inspiration to a lot of us queer people who get to watch your journey. So thank you for
Well,
sharing it with
thanks.
all of us.
Oh, that's
Thanks for
so
saying that.
nice.
I always assume nobody's watching or paying attention. So, like, when we got called for that award, I was like, thanks. I didn't know anybody was clocking us. So,
I think it's so special, and to hear that, especially, Tig, you said that your sons were able to come to one of your comedy pieces in LA, and I love that they were holding you accountable the whole time. They were your toughest critic.
yeah. I've never heard it put that way, holding me accountable. But that's exactly what was happening. In the comedy world, they just call it heckling. But yeah, so it was unexpected. It was an afternoon matinee vegan charity that I was doing, and we had some sort of family plans that day, and they had never seen me do stand up. And how old were they? Like 5 or
Yeah, that's kind of a while ago. That
yeah.
first time.
Yeah, and they're definitely not the kids that are like hanging out on set or in green rooms or anything. So they go to this show of mine, and I, of course, never accounted for the fact that that I might be heckled or held accountable, as you say.
I love it. The sports talk versus like artistry.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, I was telling some story that I think they know all of my stories. And so
Yeah.
I was telling some insane thing that they had never heard, and our son Max was like, "Yeah, right." In the middle of my set. I was like, "Oh my God."
I mean, you really can't get away with anything with kids. They are listening way more than I ever thought they were, and they're absorbing way too much.
Yeah.
It really is something, and they forget nothing.
Yeah.
So anytime I
See,
try
I'm
to
the
bribe,
opposite of all of what you described. Anyway.
so Tig, Steph, tell me how you guys ended up. Meeting. I read that you got married in Mississippi, and I can't wait to get to that part. But how did you guys meet?
We were just telling the story yesterday.
We tell it every day. If anyone will listen, we're like, you want to know how we met? Want to know how we fell in love? We still like each other.
We need this. We need this in the world today. Like, just tell me. I just need story time for.
I'm vegan, and you want to hear my love story? You want to hear our vegan love story? I
do.
Anyway, go ahead, Stephanie.
Being vegan together. No, we met on Lake Bell's movie In a World, and that's how we met. But there was no sort of. I thought I was straight, and
I knew I wasn't.
She was really funny. And Tig had a girlfriend, and we just connected. And then when the movie a year later went to Sundance, that's when we sort of ran into each other, exchanged numbers, and started texting. And, I really liked Tig. I couldn't quite place my feelings. And I knew that I was leaving dates to go text Tig. But yeah, Tig, you tell it better when you were on the map, because it was actually Valentine's Day.
Are you
perfect?
You're not making our love story sound interesting, Steph?
No, because it is. I think you have a clearer.
Okay. I'll tell you what happened.
It takes a while.
What happened was
we were texting.
It's way messier.
We were texting for months, and I was starting to feel like, oh my gosh, this girl is so funny. And do I have a crush on her? Because that's kind of all. I mean, obviously, I think you're very attractive, but I'm like, it's fun to laugh with people. And I'm like dying on text every day with her. And then I was home writing my book, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. It was Valentine's Day. We had not hung out. We were only texting since we exchanged numbers. And she said, "Oh, do you want to come meet me and my friends? We're at La Poubelle in Hollywood." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't showered all day. I can't. I like my hair's greasy. I can't just go down and meet her." And then I was like, "Oh, she's straight. She's not into me. Like, who cares what I look like?"
Yeah.
So I put this huge like Canadian wool sweater on that had like an eagle on my back, and I like head down
Hot.
to I head down to La
Hot.
Poubelle. I walk in with my messy, greasy hair and my eagle sweater on, and Stephanie is sitting there with a huge group of friends, and she's wearing a big blue Canadian wool sweater.
Oh,
That's dark. I mean,
yes.
we're basically in the exact same sweater, but mine's white, hers is dark blue. And we were like, what? This is insane. And so we end up switching sweaters just kind
Oh
of
my
in a funny
gosh.
way. And then Stephanie's friend said, "Here, get together and I'll take your picture in your matching sweaters." And as soon as we touched each other, we started making out. So our very first
Stop.
kiss, was captured in a
We have a
photo.
picture of it.
Yeah, we have a picture of it, and it was Valentine's Day, 13 years ago. This Valentine's Day, and so the next day, Stephanie writes me I mean, we continued to make out the rest of the night, and so she writes me a 53 million page email telling me how much she likes me, but that she's not gay. She doesn't want to lead me on, and that but she really enjoys me. Blah blah blah, goes on and on and on. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh no," because I had this feeling I was really into her.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, if she's straight, I can't push this. So I just thought I'd keep it light, even though I was bummed. And I just wrote back, "Okay, Dyke." And then and so here we are 13 years later with 2 kids, 3 cats, and a production company.
Oh
When
my.
I got okay, Dyke, I was
You
sold.
were hooked. That was it for you. You were like, you know what? I got a lot of history in sports. Stephanie, I've done my research. I've seen you in a basketball jersey. You're not fooling no one, honey. Nope. I
Should have
love that.
known.
They should have known. That's such a fun story, and
Yeah.
I do feel, because both of you, the way you talk, the way you show up, the way you're such a light. It is. There's no. I just feel like so many couples feel so rooted in what you both are, because a lot of us have experienced the same thing. Like, I'm dating someone right now who I'm their first partner, female partner, queer partner as well. And it's so interesting when you have that aha moment, even though you were friends before, and it doesn't click until it absolutely clicks. And when you see it, you can't unsee it. And you knew, like, after that, Stephanie, did you just know, like, this is for me, this is like safety, this is like my emotional home? Or did it take a lot to get there?
I think if I was really honest with myself, I could say, "Oh, I really love this person." And I know with guys I've been with, I thought they were cool. I thought they were interesting. I thought they were attractive and fun, but I wasn't in love with them and I wasn't wanting more. I was
Yes.
kind of just like hanging out with somebody I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew, and I think that's where I got to at that time was like, well, I'm going to follow that. I know that I need to follow that. And my sexuality, I was a little bit more of a question mark. I think I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm gay. I guess I'm queer. I guess," like, none of it totally felt right. And then and even to say, "Oh, I'm bisexual," it's like, well, no, because I know I was never in love with these people, and I know
Mm-hmm.
I'm in love here. So, it actually took the more I just said yes to Tig, it was like we were falling in love, our relationship was growing, it was like, "This is who I wanna have kids with, this is who I wanna spend my life with," and then I would say over the years was more like allowing myself to go, "Oh, I'm gay." Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm attracted to women. If I wasn't with Tig, I should have been dating women. That's who
Yeah.
and that was a little bit of a moment in our marriage even to go like, this isn't about you. This is just about me. It's not like a betrayal to you. It's just I have to go, "Oh, I'm gay and we're married."
Well, it's beautiful and I love it. But what made you both decide to go get married in Mississippi? What was the kind of thought process behind that? Because I've heard you both talk about it, and you've been together for, you know, what, over a
13 years.
decade? Yeah,
13
over a
years.
decade now, which is like, congratulations. In this
Thanks.
day and age, like, that's a big fucking deal. But what was the thought process? Because you did get married almost right, like what was gay marriage became legal in the US, I think what, like a year or two before you guys decided to get married? Is that
No.
when was it?
We were engaged. Tig's from
Okay.
Mississippi. We thought for sure we were going to have an LA wedding or somewhere. We looked
Okay.
at a ton of places, and then we thought, okay, we then were like, you know what? We love Mississippi. We love your town. It's so beautiful. It'd be so cool. And we thought we were going to do the legal stuff here and
Got
then
it.
just have the ceremony there. And then I think it was a month or two before our actual wedding in Mississippi, it passed.
Wow.
Because I think it was in July, right?
Yeah.
And we got married in October.
I thought it was
And so
June. I thought it was Max and Finn's birthday.
Oh yeah, June.
June 26th,
Yeah.
2016.
Okay, June. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then that switched into, oh my God, we can actually legally get married in Mississippi. And that was a wild turn.
Yeah. It just became oddly exciting to think that you could get married in Mississippi legally as a gay couple. And
But
we did it.
it probably means so much to so many people, like especially at that time. Right now, I feel like so many people there's so many later in life lesbians, and for me, it's just like, I get it. I just feel like now it's so much more widely acceptable and we can see it. There's so much more representation.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful that you decided to do that in Mississippi and really give that visibility to so many people, especially younger kids who probably feel like in those little hubs and pockets, they don't necessarily feel they can be seen or out or supported. And I don't know if you guys really thought of that or that even played a factor in you going back to Mississippi to really tie the knot, or you just knew that's where you're from and you had the option to do it. Was that a thought, or was it a yes and?
What would you say, Stephanie?
I think that, at that time, Obama was president, and it felt like the momentum was there and that was passed. And I felt like going there was a definite vibe of we're in a red state, but we were so embraced. And to see the town come out, and Tig's cousin, is religious, and he wanted to be religious at the ceremony for himself and to say, like, we're doing a gay wedding. And there was,
he got kicked out of the Catholic Church for he was the officiant at our wedding, but he said it was worth it. I was going to say, I can't remember. He wasn't a priest. What was he?
Deacon.
A deacon in the church, and then they found out, and he got the boot.
Wow.
Well, not found out. I think he was very loud about doing it, and this is, very, very happy to do it. And then there was, this sort of pushback. But even then, I feel like there was, like, I go back and forth because I think from getting married there and just traveling the country, there are so many. You can go blue state, red state, but there are so many people in red states that, the visibility is massive.
Massive.
And then at the same time, there's moments now where I go, I don't know if I'd feel good about getting married in Mississippi right now,
Mhm.
and like at that time it felt like, hey, this is the way of the world and this is what's happening and like you kind of got to get on board and I feel like everybody was
Mhm.
to a degree.
So do you feel like now that, you're raising these beautiful children, like when you sit around the dinner table, is a lot of your love language rooted in comedy? Or like what are you, because when you two are on stage, you're magic together and the way you feed off of each other is it's light and it's lovely. And I'm curious if you bring that a lot into the house. Like when you're sitting at dinner with the boys, is that a big part of how you both show up? Or is it like serious and structured or you guys just you seem like parents that just want to have a good time.
I would say we have such a really, I'm pretty proud of our mix in the way that we parent and navigate our lives and family. And I think comedy is it's a massive, massive part of our day to day, our family, the way we communicate, the way we all hang out together, the way we rib each other, and it's really really nice. And but also actually sports are I mean not I don't bring that, but sports. Yeah, our family comes together around sports on a near daily basis, whether it's watching every different sport, men's, women's, college, pros. Stephanie's dad comes over near daily, watches games, plays with our sons. Yeah, but they have a very structured, they know exactly what's going on in their lives. Like I said, I don't bring them on tour. They're not in green rooms. They're not on set. They are at school playing sports, home with their family. And Stephanie, what was yesterday? Sitting around watching football with them.
Yeah, and we have a friend in town and Finn, our son Finn, we were watching the NFL playoffs and he just looked at everybody in the room and he was like, "Isn't this just so fun? Everybody in the room and watching football." And he said, "You're a friend, Steph. Steph, this is just what we do. Isn't it so fun?" Like
I
he was
love
like
that.
overwhelmed by how many people were there watching.
Yeah, and
it,
he'll
it
just
it's
randomly be like,
sweet.
"Oh, I love our family," and so we feel every day it's a discussion of how thankful we are to have each
Yeah.
other and the life that we have and the connections that we have and we do laugh. I would say, I mean, am I exaggerating here about the comedy element?
No, I was when we also sort of joke about like what would it be like if we didn't? Like if we just sort of were like, "Hi Tig, how was your day?"
Yes,
Like
how
it
was your day? Did you
how I
have a
do
nice day? I had a nice
You both-
day.
I missed you. I'm
I
so
missed
happy
you
to see
too.
you.
I'm just thrilled to see you as well. What would you like for dinner?
Oh God. That's
Yeah,
like
no.
that's just not gonna happen. You two can't even keep a straight face doing
Ouch.
that. Stephanie, talk to me about your love of sports. I know you grew up playing a lot of sports. You still do, and clearly your children are very into it. Like, tell me a little bit about what that was like for you as a kid, and now moving in, to an actor, director, writer. Like, you're so successful. Has that transition played a big role in the success of your adult life?
It's really interesting because and I've realized this more actually very recently that because as a kid, I was an athlete, and that's just my identity. My identity is fully that, and I how I see the world and how I approach things is through that perspective, and it's interesting because a lot of people in entertainment and in comedy don't have that background. And I was recently going like, wow, like I'm applying everything through sort of that what I exactly what you just said, what I've learned, and I think something that I think about all the time is just there's the person that wants the ball. There's the person who wants it in the moment that really matters. And whatever your field is, it's like you want it, you're in the right place if you want the ball. And if you don't, you probably should pick something else. And so I'm like filtering in that way, but
Did you make that up?
yes, I just recently
I like that.
Well, I realized it recently.
It's really great.
I remember playing in a softball game in high school, and it was like the semifinals. We're gonna go to the finals, and it was and I played center field, and I was like, I wanted the ball so badly. I wanted to make like a winning catch, and a ball got hit to the fence, and I'm running it to right field, and I'm running, and the girl that was playing right field, it was clearly her ball. We're both kind of getting there at the same time, and she goes, "You get it." When we're getting there. And I was like, it was such, I don't even remember it like after that. I just remember going, oh, she doesn't want it right now. She's nervous. She doesn't want to make the wrong move. She doesn't want to make the wrong play. She wants the throw to be good. And I think about that moment so much where I'm like, oh, and the moment when you want the ball, and the moment when you're like, you take it.
Absolutely.
And I'm really, if I'm in a position in life where I'm like, you take it, I should probably pick a new career or new position, because I don't think that's the attitude you want. And I think that on a film set is like, do you want to be here when it's you? Are you cutting corners, or are you really wanting to do your job? And I think the more you're around people who love art, love film, what they do, want to do what they do, it's the greatest experience. It's the greatest people to work with. And I just recently was like, oh, that comes from sports. But I also played sports. I gave up playing in college to go do acting. And now I have moments where I'm like, maybe that was a regret. But I look at sports even now with our kids and watching it, and I'm like, I'm rambling now. There's so much. But I also feel like watching sports right now in this political environment, it is so relaxing to, number one, see people unified, to go, okay, it's not about that. We're doing this. And also, it's really refreshing to go, there are rules, and it's clear on who's wrong, who lost, who won. Yeah. And you're just like, that's it. The best
Tig, accountability.
Yeah.
That part.
Okay.
Heckling.
Yeah.
Heckling.
Anyways.
No, it is. But it's really important. And when you talk about that, like, I think there's no coincidence how it bleeds into your marriage, because you both work a lot together and you're still together. So you're doing something right. And that collaborative part of what probably has made you so great in your working environment, in your marriage, like that has to be a big part of it. What is it like working together? And, I know one of my favorite recent movies, I love Am I Okay? Like, God, it's like a gentle, warm hug. I have watched it so many times.
Oh, amazing.
And it's, but when I realized you both co-directed that warmth that you have together really comes through the work you do. And I just want to know, like, what is it like working together with someone you respect so much and love so deeply? I imagine there are times that there's heated friction because you both are competitive and you both want things done right. But like, what is that work life? Do you bring it home? Do you drive to work together? And are you pissed some days? And like, what is it like?
Well, Tig, I will say, I think you might be the least competitive person I've ever met.
Really? Wow. I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm good.
Well, I used to do long distance cycling. I used to play soccer as a kid, but I'm more of a solo sport type person, like hiking and again, long distance cycling, 50 to 100 mile days. I would do these long rides with groups or charity events, and people still end up being competitive in those, even though you're just raising money for charity. And that was one of those signs of like, I came in dead last, Ashlyn, like out of hundreds of people. I might have been thousands. And and I was cycling with my friend who is very competitive, and she was like racing other people, and I was like, this isn't a race. We're just like, we're cycling. We're raising money.
We're raising money.
Yeah. And but she was dying laughing, and also it turned to emotional tears when I finally crossed the finish line, because she was like, she did it. And I'm like, I am not racing anybody. I'm like, you can all have the prize. But yeah, I don't feel, I think it goes back to maybe the way I do sports, is that like, I like to have a sport I can do on my own, but it's also something that if you want to join me swimming or hiking or biking, there's a place for you. But I'm just doing my own thing. And I don't know if it also ties back to being gay, not knowing I was gay for, I mean, believe it or not, for a long time, where I just felt different. I was a gay comedian in the South. It took me a beat to figure myself out. And so I was always just doing my own thing. I can't compete with these girls trying to have boyfriends, or I can't, you know what, I'm the class clown. I'm not going to get the A, you know? It's like, I'm doing my own thing. And
well, also anyone tells you like a coach is like hustle or let's get it, you're like,
ugh.
stop.
Don't yell at me. Like, I'm like, just assume I am hustling. I'm like, yeah, I remember when I was playing soccer, they'd be like, hustle, hustle. I'm like, I know, that's what I'm doing. You're distracting me. I have to turn and nod to you. Like, no, leave me alone. But what was your question?
No, you're doing great, but you're just competitive scale, right? You two are very
working
different.
together, working together.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Stephanie and I work together so well. And I would, and you know, I don't want to come across as like, we're perfect, our life is perfect, our relationship's perfect. But the fact of the matter is, we do enjoy being around each other. We are very inspired by each other. I feel like we elevate each other. I love seeing Stephanie excel. I know, and I'm not saying this in like a cliche way of like, oh, my better half, or my wife's smarter than me, or she really is. And I really, really want her opinion. I really want her opinion. And when she has an opinion on something, I'm just like, wait, what did you say? Even like what she said before, it's like, if you're ready for the ball, you're going to get in that position. I'm like, oh, I love that. Like, I love visuals. I love learning from somebody that has incredible taste, incredible talent, somebody I'm completely in awe of. And we always laugh about when we are on separate productions, we're like, I miss you. Like, I wish you were here. I want to know what your opinion would be on this movie or this project I'm working on. And I wish you were here. Watch, Stephanie will be like, oh, it's the worst working with her. She,
I don't know if you just heard all that. So really hard.
That was sweet.
It's
but
true.
I think, and I will say,
I
like,
feel that.
I feel that way about Tig. And I also, in saying that Tig is the least competitive, that's such a compliment, especially when you're making a film or you're working together, because, and I've seen this with Tig across the board, in the same way she's a fan of me, that she just said she's that of everyone and her friends and other stand-ups. And she doesn't have that vibe of like, oh, they're good. Are they better than me? Or like, she celebrates talent and she celebrates good people and brings them in and hires them again and doesn't keep people apart. And I think that's a rare ability, actually. And I think then things go very smoothly and can work really beautifully when you're like that, because you're creating that space of good people, and you're really respecting what they do and their talent. And it's very kind.
Yeah. How that's I love hearing that because it really moves me, and hearing you both speak about how you show up completely differently in that realm. Um, I know there's a big documentary that came out in November, Tig, about your late friend Andrea Gibson, and I would really love to hit on that because I watched that with my partner, and whew, like devastating and beautiful all in one. And the
Mm-hmm.
way you could hold both, um, the way you were able to bring that story to life for all of us, it was so heavy but so light in so many different ways. Did you feel called to tell that story, or were you just lucky enough it came to your lap?
I felt so compelled. And first of all, thank you for watching it. And I'm so glad it resonated with you. I just feel like if you are a person alive on this planet, you have to see this film, and it's going to make you feel so much. Some people get scared of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. I mean, obviously, everybody, if you're not ready, you're not ready. But there's so
Mm-hmm.
much joy in this film, and there's so much inspiration, and people, yeah, are moved beyond measure and
Mm-hmm.
shifting their lives because of it. I was one of them
Mm-hmm.
who shifted my life in ways. But I knew Andrea for 25 years, and my friend Steph Willen, who is the friend who's in town right now visiting us, she was one of the producers, and you'll know what I mean when I say she was the one at the dinner party that got thumbed. If you remember that part of the film, but she and I were on the phone. We were talking about Andrea's podcast, and we were trying to figure out how to be helpful and with the structure, producing, editing, and whatever. Because Andrea had a lot going on, and
Mm-hmm.
so we were trying to be helpful with that. And then Steph Willen, who is visiting us and produced it with me, she is the one that said, when we were on the phone, she said, I feel like Andrea's life would make a really great documentary right now. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God. Like, talk about like the heavens opening and just like
Mm-hmm.
hearing, oh my gosh. I mean, and Stephanie makes fun of me because I act very quickly in life. If something, she'll hear me kind of mention like, oh, I've thought about maybe doing this thing, and then she'll walk in the next room, and I'm on a call going, hey, I was wondering if you guys have, I'm immediately into it, and that's what happened with this film. Was like
Mm.
I called these filmmakers that I had known that I just loved. I loved their projects. I loved them as people, and I knew that whoever came into this project, you have to be, as I have said a million times, there can't be a single weirdo rattling around in this production, because this is a very, very tender, sensitive
Mm.
moment at the end of somebody's life. And I'm telling you, this crew that came in on this film was so tiny and so full of love and support and compassion. And even after the film wrapped up, and Andrea, the movie, I mean, we haven't even mentioned that, but Andrea is a poet,
Mm-hmm.
non-binary poet with stage 4 ovarian cancer. And so when I reached out to the filmmakers, they were a little like, huh, a poet. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll get back to you. And I sent them some clips and things to listen to and watch. And I was like, I can't sell you on this. You're either
Yeah.
going to be in or out. And 3 days later, they called me and they were like, oh my God, we get it. We see it. We cannot reach out to a streamer. We have to raise funds independently. This is not a sparkly Hollywood film. And we are buying plane tickets and we're going out there next week to start filming. And
Wow.
and so I then immediately got on the phone and I started raising money. And it came together so quickly. Everybody was so passionate. And even after we wrapped, the crew continued to fly out to visit Andrea and Andrea's wife, Meg, because everyone got so close. I mean,
Oh,
so close. But yeah, I felt very called. And Andrea was one of the funniest people I ever knew and was like deeply, deeply one of the best laugh hangs that you could ever hope for. And their relationship with Meg is like just something for the ages. I mean, it's
yeah.
really remarkable how they navigated this final year of Andrea's life and the way Andrea navigated the final year of their
Yeah.
life. It's
And
beyond anything. And every time it screens, I mean, it won so many
oh,
festivals, and I mean, it just kept winning, and it won Sundance, even out of scripted films.
yep.
It just kept taking every prize everywhere we went, and it sold to Apple, and it's now on the short list for the Oscars.
Yep.
It's man, has it been a beautiful experience.
Andrea was able to actually watch the reaction people had at Sundance, which I find I can only imagine was really special and powerful as I listened to quite a bit of their work.
Mm-hmm.
They always talked about this maybe was their calling to be able to tell this story, to
Mm-hmm.
experience it, to share it,
Mm-hmm.
but they were able to see it. And I'm just
Yeah.
curious what that was like at Sundance, not only for you, but for them.
Well, we didn't think Andrea and Meg were going to make it out to Sundance because
Hmm.
Andrea had reached, Andrea was
Yeah.
struggling to walk up and down stairs because of
Hmm.
the tumors in the lungs, and then last minute, they got in the car and drove out from Boulder to Park City for the festival, and we were just like, oh my God, they're gonna be here, and we had all like gotten a big Airbnb, and we were calling it Snuggle Down because we were just at this festival in this big house sitting by the fire and having tea all weekend. And Andrea was very, very nervous about the screening. It's so vulnerable.
Hmm.
And when we got there, it was a lot of visible nerves. And then I would say within minutes of the film playing, you could you can just feel. I mean, any way you can watch this film, even if it's on Apple alone in your home on a laptop, or if
Hmm.
you're in a theater like we were at Sundance, it is so incredible to experience the laughter
Hmm.
with a group and the emotion with a group. I mean, you feel each other. And I
Yeah.
and Andrea settled in and was like, you could feel the ease that came over them, and to sit there in that room. And it was Stephanie always talks about how incredible it is to see the amount of straight men that respond to this film.
Hmm.
At the Sundance Festival, there was a guy that was so like bro-y that stood up and was like, everybody needs to see this film. And it was so moving because he just
Hmm.
This was a sold out theater of like every version of gender and sexuality. And like
Mhm.
this guy was so out of place, but perfectly in place. And during our snuggle down experience, where I mean, I've been to Sundance numerous times, and usually it is a weekend of parties and events
Mhm.
and dinners and schmoozing. And we did not do that. We got out there, our little snuggle down production crew, and
I love this.
and we just hung out by the fire, and we had these great talks and laughs, and having tea sun up to sundown. And we were just like, wow, that went really well, and people really responded. And and then I left town, and then I got this like cavalcade of texts and calls, and I was like, oh God, I thought it's bad news about Andrea, because of the
Mhm.
like clear struggle in Sundance with the lungs and breathing, and then I call Andrea and Meg back, and they're like, "Did you hear?" And I was like, "What?" I was like so
What?
ready to cry, and they were like,
Yeah.
"We won Sundance," and I was like, "What? What? Wait, what?" Like I was not, because I had no gauge. We had no gauge how this film was doing because we weren't out in the festival schmoozing. So we were just at
Yeah.
Snuggle Down having tea, laughing, and enjoying ourselves in this really intimate, emotional, fun way, only to find out we won the festival. Like, what?
It's
It was
incredible.
so
It's
crazy.
so incredible. Stephanie, what was it like watching Tig go through this journey with Andrea?
I mean, I feel like, first of all, I do think Tig and I are very fluid in our work life. So, in the same way of what the messaging is of the film is how the movie itself was made, and I would say
Mhm.
how it sort of bled into our own life. And so to see First of all, to see it come together so beautifully with a group of people who were all putting art first, and they were going, "This
Mhm.
is not a movie that would sell. This does not meet an algorithm. This is not what everybody's looking for right now." And yet people were putting their money in, and they were putting their time in, and they were saying yes to it because Andrea was enough to go, "What am I doing if I say no to Andrea?" You know? So first to see that come together that way, and then to make such a beautiful piece of art that is the ripple effect is just unbelievable, and how it has connected people who have watched it and the
Mhm.
conversations you can have from it. I think it's the one of the best things, if not the best thing Tig has done, and it has been the art itself has been a gift to our life because of the conversations we've had with people and continue to have. And so to me, it's one of the most inspiring things to witness and not be a part of because I got to see the process and then the product. And then,
Mm.
hey, these are our friends and these are people we know, and it is about life and it's about grief and it's about all of those things. And so it's a gift in many ways to me,
Mhm.
and there hasn't been any there's just no negativity in any direction, which I would say if there was, and I think that is something. I think that's like you go, something was done right.
Mhm.
And it's fascinating. I've started clocking all of these men that were loving this movie and friends of ours husband who watched it and were like, "Whoa,
Oh.
and it's like this is a non-binary poet and their wife dying of ovarian cancer. You'd think in ways this would not speak to that demographic, but it's not about any of those things. And I was like, "Oh, people, and especially men, I think, fear death."
Mhm.
So you sit in there and you watch somebody go,
This
"Yeah, I wanna
scrappy
live."
little poet. You're watching this scrappy little
Yes.
poet
Is
take it
their
on.
point of view. It's like, that's how I wanna live, and I will do anything to fucking live.
Mm.
And what can I do and what can I and that the trying and the wanting the life, and I think, this doesn't give anything away about the movie, but what the movie does so well is to go, it's not just about, "Oh, be grateful for your life, and life is so precious," and this it's it's every second. It's
Mhm.
minute to minute. Like if you have 5 minutes to live, 5 minutes is 5 minutes, and that's
Mhm.
more than two.
Mhm.
It's so it's like, what are you doing? And yeah, it's just been it's really, really special.
Well, you both have such a gift to continue putting out such incredible work that makes our community really feel seen and safe and not alone. And it's through everything, whether it's your movies, your scripts, it's through your stand up, it's through your podcast. There's no question that you both are such a light in this world for our community, and so many people feel very safe within it and want to consume it because we need it. We need it more now than we ever have, and I love tuning into Handsome. I love tuning into everything you both put your hand on. You really have a gift, and I don't want to say that lightly. It has been a real joy following both of your work, and I am grateful that it feels safe, it feels funny, it feels hard, but it feels like home.
Mm-hmm.
And to wrap this all up, do you ever really sit back and realize the impact you both are very young, raising very young children. Have you really just sat back and embraced what you've created for our community?
Well, thanks for all those kind words, but I am 6 months away from an age where I could actually move into a
No, you're
retirement
not.
community. Yes, I am.
No,
Um,
you're not.
yes, I have gray hair, yellow teeth, and wrinkles, and anyway. But you go first, Stephanie. I just wanted to clarify. I am not a young person having young children.
You're a young chicken. You
No,
look
no, no.
great.
No, I guess that's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah, that is so nice and right back at you. And I also, it's just like, no, I don't think of those things. And I don't think we operate from that place. And sometimes I'm a little blindsided by it because it's like, when I hear that, I'm like, oh God, like there's so much more to do for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricky because in mentioning the Family Equality Award, like we met so many people there that were from so many different places and states and that were so thankful. And it's like, God, people are in pockets and they're looking, and I remember being in those pockets and I remember seeing people going, oh, there's my people. They're not on my street. They're not at my school. They're nowhere around me, but I see that I got to go toward those people. And so I know that feeling, but being on the other side of that is a little hard to connect to.
That's fair. Well, I just hope you both receive it and know how special and important the work you choose to do, but most importantly, the way you show up. It really spreads the right kind of message and light in the community when right now things feel a little hard. And, with that, I'm curious how, in terms of family, work, and love, what do you feel right now is the most sacred that you want to protect in this current landscape and this new 2026 and where we're at? What is the most sacred thing for both of you at this point in your personal life or your career, or how you tie it all together?
I know for myself, I mean, part of what really shifted for me making this, the documentary is called Come See Me in the Good Light, the Andrea Gibson film that I produced. Working on that, I realized I was in interviews telling people that I was finding that work-life balance. And then it hit me one day that I wasn't. I was just saying what I thought I should say in an interview. I just wasn't thinking. I was like, yeah, I'm finding the work-life balance, and and I was just bouncing along when I was talking to people. And then I realized I'm not even connected to what I'm saying. I'm not, I don't have work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, it's a cliche because it's true, but that at the end of life, people wish they didn't work as much and that they spent more time with their loved ones. And that I am really putting into motion. And
Mm.
I don't want, and maybe this is the part of me that's not competitive, but I don't want more and more and the power, the fame, I don't need to be,
Mm.
the wealthiest, most powerful, richest, famous person. That's not what I'm looking for. What I want to maintain is the incredible life that I have,
Mm.
and I want it to be exactly what it is, which is authentic and genuine and real. And the things that Stephanie and I are putting out, like she said, she's not really thinking too much about, like, it's not like this, we got to do this for this person or community or this. It comes from a very real place. I want to do this. This feels right to me. And so what we're putting out, we're feeling a real connection to.
Mm.
And all of it's just it all goes back to a real connection. And I think that the real connection I want to have with my family comes through finding a real connection with how I want to work, what I want to put out there. I'm not thinking about this comedian has this, so I need to have that and
Yeah.
more. Or
Yeah.
that's not the filter that I'm looking through at all. They can have that. I have, but really, like what I have is so phenomenal. Like I cannot believe my life. I cannot believe my life. So I want to maintain what I have.
Yeah.
I don't want to be focused on, and that is not to say that there's anything bad with being competitive. Stephanie is very competitive, and it's great that we have one of us. But anyway, I don't know. I'm kind of talking in circles, but I want to I love what I have, and I want to keep that. And
love
so
that.
I want to stay focused on what work I really connect to. I want to stay focused on, I tell Stephanie, like, I want to be a better spouse to you. I want to be a better parent. I want to keep focusing on that. I want
love
to
that.
really, really keep being better because what I have, I know is so, so great. So,
Us athletes call that, really being in the moment. That's, we're really
yeah,
in the moment.
yeah, yeah.
I love that. Thanks, Tig. And I really appreciate both of your honesty and you're just so authentic with the way you live your life through your work, and everything has been really enjoyable to see. This is the first time we've ever been together, but through your work, there's a part of me that feels attached to you. And I think that's the beauty of art.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sport, right? It makes you feel seen, and you're connected with these people shoulder to shoulder fighting for the same fight. And whether you're competitive or not, that sense of belonging, whether it's sport or film, we're providing that to people to have that sense of belonging and show them that, like, you aren't alone and you can feel so many raw and real emotions through it. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. We have been given the gift to provide to a lot of people that see us, but we may not know. So I just wanted to say thank you both
Thank
for
you.
all that you give. And it has been a real light to see the growth and the raw and realness and truth through what you both create. So thank you, and happy anniversary. Come on.
I know.
What?
I know. 13
And
years
thank you,
ago on Valentine's
13
Day.
years. Woo!
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining us, and thank you for being so vulnerable and wide open. And I hope everyone goes out and watches the movie, and it really was
Apple TV.
life-changing. Apple
Thank
TV,
you.
everyone, please, you do not want to miss it. I imagine you guys are always busy, so I'm sure you're working on a million projects, but yeah, everyone go give Stephanie and Tig a follow. And if you haven't listened to Handsome Podcast, do yourself a favor. It's one of my absolute favorites.
It's very ridiculous.
It really is, but we need it. We need that lightness. We need that laughter. We need just something out there that we can consume weekly that feels,
Well, here's
like
something
a
you can
fun place to be.
I've got something else you can consume.
Yes.
I'm on the new Star Trek series called Starfleet Academy, starring Holly Hunter. Paul Giamatti is the bad guy. There's an incredible cast of young space cadets coming up and in the academy, and it premiered in mid-January, but it's on Paramount Plus.
Amazing.
So,
Paramount Plus.
Yep, check that out. I am Commander Jet Reno, and I'll see you in outer space.
You are.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both,
All
and
right.
we'll see you all next time on Wide Open. I love conversations that make you laugh and breathe a little deeper at the same time. And that's exactly what sitting with Tig and Stephanie does. There's something really powerful about watching two people choose each other through joy, through chaos, through parenting, grief, and creativity, and still find ways to keep laughing along the way. Tig's film, I'll See You in the Good Light, is such a beautiful reminder that love doesn't end when someone leaves. It just changes shape. And Handsome continues to prove that humor and community can be healing in ways we didn't always expect. Check out Tig's new comedy tour starting January, Out of Nowhere Tour, and that is on tignation.com. I'm so grateful they trusted me with their story today, and I hope this conversation gave you a little bit more comfort, a little bit more laughter, and maybe a reminder to hold your people a little closer today. Thank you for being here with us. I'll see you next time on Wide Open.